Hi friends, this is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. This is Heart of the Woods part 17, the final, the end. As you could tell from Poke the Totoro, the last section, I actually had to cut it in post because I needed to actually split it up. It just got too long. That's okay, but just wanted to let you know. So make sure you've watched the rest of the series, because this is the final. This is it. This is what we've been building up to. You want to be here. You might be queer, and I respect you for all of that, and I love you all. It's gonna be good. It's great. It's great. I love it so much. Okay, with further ado, cutting back to past DaintyTank. Maddie. Yes. Whew. My heart pounds as Abigail and I arrive in the fairy grove. This place has been a setting of most of my favorite memories here in the forest. I could have never guessed that it would also be where everything ends. I can feel the fairies, my subjects, watching from close by. They don't show themselves, but their presence are like tiny little pressure points on my consciousness. They're just as tense as I am. Closing my eyes, I reach out to the forest, asking for its aid. It still hurts badly. It laments the terrible pain that it suffered. I promise that it'll be okay. It's my duty as queen to ensure this. I hold the forest in my heart and promise to rid it of its Moonsick one. Abigail and I walk to the water's edge. Nervousness tears at my stomach. Geladora's signal could come at any time, and I have to be ready. High above, the moon offers its light to us. The whole lake is dyed in its silver glow, shimmering and refracting and amplifying. The moonlight caresses my face like a lover, warm and invigorating. I indulge in it, letting it sink in through my skin, my roots, my forest. Every little second could be crucial.
How do you feel?
She holds my hand loosely in hers.
Nervous. In a way I've never felt before. Nothing else in my life has ever been this important. There's never been life or death consequences like this.
Fair?
What if I screw up?
You just gotta try. Like everything, you just gotta try. I expect to see fear reflected in Abigail's face as well, but when I turn towards her, she looks serene and unbothered.
I have complete faith in you, Madison. The fairies said that not just anyone could be queen, but that you could. They saw something in you too.
Good.
We're all putting our trust in you. The whole forest is, and our friends too. We wouldn't do that if we didn't believe in you.
That's a good point. I wish I could use a magic spell to boost my confidence. For all the power that I hold right now, it sure feels insignificant. So far, everything has come naturally. Moving through the woods or interacting with its denizens is easy. But to use my magic against another being, that's something else entirely. But I can't let that kind of attitude overwhelm me. I can't be defeated before it even starts. Abigail's right. Everyone is counting on me, and I can't let them down.
Thank you.
There you go.
For what?
For believing in me.
She leans forward and kisses my cheek.
Always.
Aww. Always. That word has meant a lot of different things to me lately. My concept of forever keeps shifting and changing. Even now, it's not entirely sure what it means. I suppose that after tonight, I will.
You know, when we were here before, there were times that I wished it could last forever. Where it was peaceful, and just the two of us. But now, more than anything, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for us to make new memories. Together.
Good.
Nothing would make me happier. When you came into my life, I thought that it would be fleeting, like a nice stream that I might someday look back upon and smile. I didn't dare imagine nor hope for anything more.
Aww.
But now, well, perhaps you've made an optimist out of me after all.
I kiss her forehead, then her nose. And then her lips.
I love you. More than anything.
I love you too. More than anything.
Aww. Together we face forward. And that's when I feel it. A cold flash of foreign fear. It stabs through my head. In the idealistic scenery, I recognize the origin immediately. Geladora's panic signal. I step away from Abigail, clearing the space. Force myself to breathe evenly as I reach within my fell self, mentally searching for the magic. I call upon the power within me. Unlike before, when it blossomed and flourished at my request, now it lies dormant and afraid. I understand. I'm afraid too. But there's no time to be afraid. Using my authority as Fairy Queen, I coax the magic force forth. The church's presence aches like an infection. I promise the force that I'll help heal it. The magic ripples through the woods. It sets upon the church, finding Evelyn easily. I can't see her in my mind's eye, but I can feel her. Feel her hatred and scorn and fear. So I'm not the only one who's afraid then. That's more reassuring than anything else. If she detects the magic that's coming for her, then I can tell. At my will, the tendrils of magic wrap around her like vines. Then I stick my hand out, my physical, actual hand, and I pull. The result is immediate. Just above the surface of the lake, a ripple disrupts the air. As a massive rift opens up, within seconds, Evelyn falls forward through it, collapsing in a heap to the shore. It's wrong, though. She's still in her regular body. It's not just her vulnerable soul like it should be. Take a fearful step back. Why did Geladora send the signal early? My blood runs cold. What if something happened to her and Morgan? What if she wasn't too early? What if I was too late? I try to rally my thoughts and concentrate on what to do. She quickly picks herself up, wild eyes casting back and forth. Her appearance is monstrous. It finally fits her personality. Her gaze falls on me and her lips curl in hatred or disgust.
So, it's you.
It is.
I see that even death didn't want you. And now here you are, stinking of snow and pine. Stinking of them. You wear their clothes. You bear their crown. But you are not one of them.
She lumbers forward, her steps seemingly pained. She's either dazed from being pulled here, or from the effects of her own spell. But I can't count on that to last.
You're right. I'm not. Just like you'll never be a human.
I need to buy myself time while I try to think.
Human? Ah, is that what you think I want? I will be more than human.
Gust of wind stirs up, likely at her calling. Trees shake, and I plant my feet firmly to keep from losing my balance. I feel the barriers in my mind freeze and break away. She's gone. As the world spins around me, the moon shines down on the lake. I search for her presence with my mind, but I can't find her, like a fish that slipped off the line. I need to calm down. My heart races as my head begins to ache and throb.
You're so fragile, so easily damaged, so easily broken.
The biting wind intensifies, threatening to sweep my crown away. Abigail shields herself with one arm. Evelyn, however, remains unaffected.
What's wrong, little child? Why not make this easy on yourself? I can make it painless for you this time.
Reality and illusion blur and blend. The fabrics of my vision tear. She takes another step forward in my mind, shattering what little focus I had. She's almost close enough that if she lunged forward, she could grab me by the throat. Instead, Evelyn scratches at her own neck, her nails drawing blood, but she doesn't seem to notice. High in the sky, the moon watches over us, indifferent. I can feel its light sustaining me, same as it bolsters her. She turns to look at me. She turns to look up at it, shivering.
Do you know why you were the first to go? Because you were the easiest. All alone, off in the woods. Tragic accidents happen all the time out there. Really, it's my daughter you have to blame for all this. It's a shame you won't get another chance.
Try to find her again with the magic, but I can't. It's like she isn't even there, where her consciousness should exist there, but there's nothing but a gaping hole. A void that feels familiar somehow. Her eyes glow red as she faces me again.
Looking for me.
My consciousness is immediately assaulted. My head pounds as I feel Evelyn enter it like an intrusive thought. With every push and pull, she rips at my soul. My magic quakes under her power, flickering and fearful. I try to reach out and grab it, pull my own consciousness and strength into me, but every time I get close, it's yanked away. Unrelenting, overwhelming. Die, die, die! It echoes and reverberates in my skull. I choke, momentarily forgetting how to breathe. Every single thought, every single idea, snatched and destroyed. I can't even see anymore.
I knew it! Your gifts are wasted on you. Queenship is wasted on you. What good is power if you don't know how to use it? All of you are the same.
Searing pain in my head forces me to my knees.
Your friends couldn't save you then, just as you can't save them now.
An unseen force shoves my head upwards, making me look at Evelyn. A peculiar ringing blocks out all other sound except for her words, deaf to the wind, to the forest, to Abigail.
See what you've done, and despair.
She gestures imperiously towards the empty space between us, just like a portal I used to bring her here. Another hole in the space rends itself. It opened. Is it open? Through it I can see a glimpse of the murky, stained glass window of the church. Ugh. Ugh. Then it upends, unceremoniously spilling out my friends. Or at least their bodies. Nausea hits me at the sight. Tara's there, her body limp and broken, arms and legs splayed at an obscene angle. Blood trickles from her mouth. Beneath her open, sightless eyes. Morgan is also there in a heap. Though her body isn't as mangled as Tara's, a grisly wound stretches from her ear across her face and down. Blood stains the sand beneath her. Even Geladora lays there, motionless. Though her back is turned to me, a small puddle of water forms beneath her, spreading as she seems to melt. I scream. Want to run towards them or clutch my heart, but I'm pinned in place. How? What went wrong? Was this why the signal came too early? I shouldn't have left them alone. I should have gone with them. This is my fault, isn't it? Evelyn's attack on my mind ceases in order to let me truly comprehend the horror before me. As much as I fight it, my heart gives way to what Evelyn asked of me. I despair. Ugh. That's miserable. Morgan! Get it, Morgan! Our feet touch solid ground, and Tara immediately loses her balance. I grab her shoulder to keep her from falling. Geladora pants heavily, the magic having taken a heavy toll on her. Maddie, Abigail, and Evelyn are on the far short side of the lake. Only Abigail seems to notice us. Even from a distance, the terror on her face is clear.
Come on, they need our help.
Tara takes one step forward and then falls to the ground, clutching her ankle.
Shit.
Just then, Maddie screams in pain or horror, sick feeling in my stomach. All three of us turn to look, although there's nothing new to be seen. I know from experience it doesn't mean she isn't in pain. Abigail is tugging on her arm, but Maddie doesn't react at all. She must be beyond even feeling it. And just behind Evelyn, a familiar-looking ball of sinister light is forming, sparkling in the moonlight. Its tendrils jolt and drag with a familiar hunger. Maddie doesn't even know. Evelyn turns back and looks at us, a sadistic grin on her face. The tendrils of magic shift. A feeling of impending doom fills my lungs. I look back at Tara, who scowls at her foot as she tries to move. There's no way she'll be able to. I don't have long to act. I turn to run, to confront Evelyn myself. I don't know what else to do. Everything has gone wrong. All that matters to me at this point is that Maddie and Tara get out of here. If I have to die for that to happen, then so be it. No, Morgan! I hesitate just slightly. My leg wavers as I try to take a step forward. It's enough for Tara to grab my arm, grimacing through the pain.
Where are you going?
To stop her.
Tara grip tightens.
Not without me, you aren't.
Tara, you can't.
Neither can you. I'm not letting you throw yourself away. Not again.
Yes. Something soft paws on my leg, and I look down at Geladora staring up at me.
Both of you.
As sweet as they are, there isn't any time for sentimentality. Every second we spend talking is a second wasted.
Morgan, the moonlight.
Glance up at the sky, but I didn't notice anything different. The moon shines down on both Maddie and Evelyn, surely invigorating them both. However, it's obvious from the situation that Evelyn is better at using it.
What about it?
It makes magic stronger. With enough of it, and our magic, we can stop her.
Our magic?
Whose magic? Yours and Maddie's?
No. Her eyes glisten and the moonlight stares up at me.
No, Morgan. Mine and yours.
Get it.
What?
I can't keep the expression out of my voice. Exasperation out of my voice. We don't have time for her to mess around. Geladora nimbly climbs up my legs and torso, my heavy sweater protecting me from the pain of her claws. She perches on my shoulder.
Love is its own form of magic. It makes the impossible possible.
Aww. That's great.
And I know you have plenty of that.
Turn to face Tara, who's been listening to every word. Despite all, she gives me an encouraging smile.
I don't know anything about magic, and I'm still figuring this love thing out. But I know I believe in you, Morgan. Go kick her ass!
Get it. I breathe in deeply. I could try to stop her myself, even if I had to die for it, I would. What Geladora says sounds crazy, but everything about this is crazy. I don't want to die.
Okay.
Good. I'm putting all my trust in Geladora and in Tara. Just like I know they're putting their trust in me. I won't let them down. With one arm, I keep Geladora in place, and as fast as I can, I run, heading straight from Maddie and Evelyn. Back to Maddie.
Now do you understand? Everything that you've done still wasn't enough. Even cheating death itself. Now, join them.
Barely on the periphery of my awareness, I can see magical energy coalescing behind her. The spell that's intended to end my life. I need to react. I need to move out of the way, or do something. But I can't. I'm frozen. I can't tear my gaze away from the sight of Morgan and Tara. I can't protect them either. I can't save them. Maybe I deserve this too. I wasted the second chance I was given. Another presence cuts through the haze of my mind, giving me a second spark of clarity.
Madison!
Oh. She must have been calling my name for a while.
Madison! It isn't real! You aren't alone!
Good. Her words cut through the despair like a hero's sword. I lock eyes with her, and I welcome her into my own head. She's so vibrant, so present, that she forces out Evelyn. Everything that I was feeling just moments before, all the fear and horror is swept away, and it's replaced with only one thing. Love. She makes me myself again. Time itself has stopped, or rather, it doesn't exist anymore. Right now, we're the only two people in the universe, and I'm aware that this is only a vision, and not reality. Yet somehow, it's more than that. Perhaps, it's a different kind of magic. We're surrounded by light. Stars flicker, watching us to see what will happen next. I witness both myself and Abigail, but it's not just the versions of ourselves that we are here and now. Rather, it's our future together. Two of us, happily laughing, smiling, growing old. It takes me only a second to understand. She's the one imagining it, sharing this with me. Same way that the fairies did. This isn't just a wish, or a possibility. It's a promise. Both in my mind and in the real world, I take her hands. I don't worry about Evelyn, because in my heart, I know that we've already won. I look Abigail in the eye and I say just 2 words.
I do.
Aww. I focus on the feeling of her hand against mine, and knowledge that she's with me. Setting my breathing and my face back towards the scene that Evelyn's conjured. Only now do I notice the imperfections there. Morgan's sweater is the wrong color. Tara's hair clips are in the wrong shape. Even the markings on Geladora's fur are different.
You liar!
I should have known. They were just more illusions. They're always illusions with her. I almost fell for the same trick twice. But it won't happen again. Before my eyes, the fake images flicker and then dissipate, vanishing entirely. For the first time, Evelyn takes a step backward, shaken by my resolve. The spell she had been charging collapses into nothingness. She shudders yet again, harder than before. She shakes so hard that it looks like she might fall apart. But she doesn't. And when she faces me again, there's still murder in her eyes. Oh, she's like tearing apart at the seams. Evelyn takes a decisive step forward and outstretches her hand towards me. She opens her mouth, bearing rows of teeth at me. I feel Abigail press into my side. The vision disappears. Just then I spot Morgan running towards us, Geladora in her arms, the real Morgan, with the real Geladora. As we approach, I feel Geladora's thoughts collide with my own. She sends me an apology for the signal, conveying in an instant everything that had happened. Then she sends me a request, along with 2 words. I'm ready. Get it.
Maddie! The lake!
Even Evelyn turns to see what Morgan's talking about. Then, without warning, Morgan turns and dashes into the pond, with Geladora still in her arms, submerging them both in the water as they vanish from sight. Terrace gets to stop watching the spot where they disappeared as the shimmering surface of the pond scatters moonlight. I understand. For what I hope is the last time I draw up the magic that the fairies have entrusted me with, I coax it from every nook and cranny of the forest, from the frozen pond under our feet to the highest reaches of tallest trees. I implore the forest to help me. Within a second, I can feel its response. From the fairies hidden just out of sight. From the forest spirit waiting forlornly in its grove. From Alma's mother, her child taken from her unfairly. From Morgan and Geladora putting their fates in my hand. From the very moon itself. I move with an easy confidence of doing something that I know I was born to do. All of my short time as Fairy Queen has been building up to this moment. Step forward, bolstered with energy and no longer afraid, I feel out the gaping hole where Evelyn's mind should be. The black, vile remainder of the existence she forsook. Of the vile reminder of the existence she forsook. And the lives that she stole. I find her like a roach, skittering and afraid, and I bind her. I'm sure that it sears her like fire. She shudders and shivers and quakes in the moonlight. Moon sickness. After that. Oh! I let go. I release it all the magic and power that was given to me. Let it flow out of my fingertips on its way back to its rightful owner. Get it. See an arc of the magic as it spreads into the lake where I know Geladora is waiting for it. Rainbow! Then, as the last vestiges of it leave my body, the vision of it disappears and the warmth of the moonlight vanishes, leaving me cold. The thousands of voices in consciousness quiet, and then go still, leaving me all alone in my own head once more. My dress returns to its proper form as just a jacket, and the flowers wither and shrivel away from its non-existence, not death. The crown on my head crumbles in the dust, brushing past my ears before it's blown away. At the same time, Morgan resurfaces and swims to the surface, where Tara is waiting for her. The moonlight is endlessly reflected through the water, where it shudders and sparkles. Beneath the surface, I can see her. Yes! Geladora crusts back through the surface, her true form restored as she accepted the mantle of the Fairy Queen once again. Shimmering dress of the color of the first fresh-born snow adorns her, glittering as brightly as the stars overhead. Yes! Oh, Geladora! Water streams down her face in little rivets, some turning to ice or frost on the way. She's breathtaking. Yeah, oh my god. My dress was pretty, but didn't suit me nearly the same way as the role of the Fairy Queen seems to suit her. Even Evelyn is speechless. Geladora closes her eyes for just a moment. Her breathing slows almost imperceptibly, but just enough that I involuntarily step backwards. Her movements mirror the ones I performed just moments ago. Geladora's stance is more experienced, more graceful, but I recognize it. She's calling upon the forest magic. Then she raises one hand high. The moon seems to glimmer at her fingertips. One swift motion, she slices downward, moonlight trailing behind her. Oh, well, that's a screenshot right there. Look at that. Oh. Snap. It pierces Evelyn like a spear, fatal and true. Her whole body convulses as her moon sickness wreaks its terrible havoc on her. Her flesh bubbles and rolls as she tries to escape the dying spirit within. It's a gruesome sight, and I look away, turning instead to Abigail. She holds me tightly. As I watch Geladora approach the shore, I can hear the buzzing of the fairies just out of sight as they start to return to greet their queen. Don't even have to be connected to the force to know that it's rejoicing. It's over. We've won. I stand there on the shore, hardly daring to move. I keep expecting Evelyn to reappear, more powerful and furious. Or worse, for all of this to be an illusion as well. But it isn't. Not a trace of Evelyn remains, neither body nor soul. Geladora stands on the ground where her last was. The Fairy Queen's eyes are closed in mourning. Not over losing Evelyn, of course, but over losing the fairy she had once been. Look down at myself in my regular clothes once more, in my flesh and blood body. I shiver a little in the breeze. It's a miraculous feeling. I turn and pull Abigail towards me as we wrap arms around each other, the biggest hug imaginable. Neither of us say anything. We don't have to. From the other side of the lake, Morgan and Tara approach us. Tara's limping, leaning on Morgan for support. They both look a little bruised, but not too badly off. Abigail and I walk over to meet them.
You did it, huh? You really did it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It's still sinking in.
Morgan, Tara, are both of you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
I'm good too. Messed up my ankle when we got here, but it's nothing too bad.
And your head.
Hey now, I already said not to worry about that one.
For better or for worse, it really is impossible to phase Tara. She could have died several times within the last half hour, but here she is, cracking jokes. I really admired that about her.
Are you sure you're all right, Morgan? You kind of just jumped into a lake.
Yeah, kinda. You must be cold.
And it was totally badass.
Yes, I'm positive. Thank you for worrying about me, though.
Yes.
That's what family's for.
Boom! Two of them exchange a smile. As they do, I look up at the sky once more, and for just a moment I close my eyes. In my head, I offer a word of thanks to the forest and for its protection and for everything it did for me. Chilly breeze blows in my response. Meanwhile, loud buzzing fills the air, and we watch a swarm of fairies as they rush towards us from the trees. Step back to stand beside my friends as the fairies arrive, joyously fluttering above Geladora's head. A bright smile illuminates her face as her people welcome her home. They don't speak, their need for human language now gone. They don't acknowledge me at all. I strain to try and spot Hay, or Freo, or Anand, but I can't. I'm sure they're there, amongst the rest of the hive. But they don't pay me any mind. Maybe that's for the best.
So this is like really cool.
Ha. She and Morgan are both watching, somewhat awestruck.
When we get home, Mads, you've gotta write an autobiography. Either that or the best fantasy novel ever.
Facts.
I'm sure you can make millions off the book deal.
I wrap my arm around Abigail.
I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Aww. Abigail grins, putting her arm around me in return. Tara grins and makes an exaggerated gagging noise.
Okay, if you're gonna be that sappy all the time, then...
Morgan interrupts whatever the consequences will be, leaning forward and kissing Tara on the lips. That shuts her up fast.
Then we'll just have to outdo them, right?
Aww. For maybe a second or third time ever, Tara looks like she doesn't know what to say. But in a good way. As we all laugh, Geladora approaches us, the rest of the fairies, forming a cloud over her head.
So, it's over. There's much to be done. The forest will need time to heal and recover.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happened there.
It will take years, but it will happen.
And you've got that time.
Thank you, all of you. Mere words cannot express how grateful I am. How grateful the forest is. Especially to you, Morgan and Abigail. Your family has suffered so much over the years.
That's right. Geladora was there with Morgan throughout everything. She's the only one who can even come close to really understand what Morgan's been through.
It's over now, though. Just like the forest, it'll take time to heal and recover. But we'll be okay.
I know you will.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys must have some serious PTSD. Like family PTSD. Geladora faces away from me, looking out towards the forest at large, and towards the waiting cluster of fairies, her domain and her people.
What about the folks back in Eisenfeld? What'll happen to them?
I imagine they'll recover from the glamour rather quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even remember Evelyn's existence.
Oh, good.
There might be some difficulty as they figure out who will manage their affairs.
She turns back to us, smiling. In particular, she looks at Morgan.
But I don't imagine any of you will be around to concern yourselves with that.
Oh, that's a hint.
Right.
Same time, Morgan and Tara reach for each other's hands. They smile at each other, meeting halfway.
And you, Abigail, are you looking forward to leaving?
Certainly. I've heard so much about the rest of the world from Madison and from Tara already that I can't wait to see it myself.
Oh.
Although, I'm a little nervous about, what were they called?
Airplanes.
Yes, those. I do hope they're safe.
Yeah, mostly. A lot more than, cars. She looks at me for support and I put my arm around her.
It'll be fine. I promise.
She'll have a lot to get used to in the modern world, but it seems like she is just as excited to experience as I am to show it to her. Yes. Even Morgan will have some acclimate... words. It's just so emotional, guys. Even Morgan will have some acclimating to do after spending her whole life with Eisenfeld's limited amenities. It's fine, though. As Morgan mentioned, we have so much time. The Fairy Queen smiles at us again.
I see. If you don't mind, I'd like to show you just one last bit of magic. Something long overdue.
Yes? The four of us look at each other, then nod in assent.
Lead the way.
Geladora takes us around the pond to the far side, right to the boundary of the bare ground and covered snow. She kneels down, scraping together a mound in her hands, while the rest of the fairies watch from above in reverent silence, their usual keening muted for now. The ball of snow in Geladora's hands is shaped and smoothed out as she alternates between scraping and patting it. Soon I realize the form is taking that of one of the fairies. Geladora then gathers several other materials from the forest debris, pine needles, soggy leaf, a couple tiny pebbles, and even more objects I can't see. She arranges the pebbles on her snow sculpture to form a face. Then she deftly weaves together a few sodden pine needles and ties them around the back of the head. I realize that they're supposed to be glasses, or at least an imitation of them.
Madison, it's you!
Oh. As Geladora wraps the leaf around the snow fairy, I realize that Abigail isn't right. It's not an exact replica, of course, but it's definitely supposed to be me. Once it's complete, Geladora lifts the tiny medal from the ground, holding it in her cupped hands like a treasure. For a second, I think she's going to hand it to me, but she walks right past it and heads to the shore of the pond. With her back to us, she lifts her hands, holding the tiny sculpture aloft. The moonlight shines down on her, illuminating the snow in her hands. The air around them starts to glimmer and sparkle, the light of the moon refracting off of nothing. Geladora's whole body glows with a soft white aura that's brightest in her hands. Then a little fairy in her hands flutters to life and flies into the air. After just 2 beats of its fragile wings, it turns and joins the rest of the swarm, where it's immediately accepted into the fold. Fairy Queen turns back to face us, sparkling snow magic, now calm once more.
A tribute in your honor. This was the first birth of our people in over a century, ever since I was first bound.
Oh.
Through this little one, your memory will live on in these woods.
Oh.
Thank you. It's an honor. Really.
It's really sweet. It's a bit strange to me that she's chosen me as a model rather than Morgan, whom she knows much better, or Abigail, who's far more intimately connected to the forest. I mean, to be very fair, you were the most connected to the forest there for a while. After all, it's not like I did a whole lot as Fairy Queen, except for, reinstating the existing Fairy Queen, ending the Moonsick one. Whatever. Still, the gesture is touching. I watch the little fairy for as long as I can until it's assimilated into the rest and impossible to keep track of. Tara's positively green with envy.
Before you leave tomorrow, will you come join me for a final time? We have one last farewell to make.
She looks at Abigail as she says that. Abigail's eyes widen and then she nods.
We've got a late train, so it's easy to do.
You already got his tickets home?
Hell yeah! One of us has to be on top of things around here.
She smirks and I playfully smack her shoulder. Going home. Just the thought of it is exciting. The prospect of returning to our normal lives without having to fight for them. By now, it feels kind of like a dream. But for once, one that I know will come true. Oh? Oh my. Once again, I wake up before Abigail does. The bed isn't even close to big enough for both of us, but it didn't stop us from getting a full night's sleep. She lays nestled against my side, breathing peacefully while I contemplate the sunlight streaming in. No matter where Tara and I travel to, I'm always looking forward to going home. It's especially true now. It feels weird to imagine that this time tomorrow, I'll be on a plane over the sea. We still have a long day ahead of us, though. Our train doesn't depart until the afternoon. Then it's hours to the city. At least it'll be much more cheerful than the trip out here, when it was just Tara and me. For as long as I can, I will just remain in bed, cuddling close to Abigail. It's so nice to be able to just turn off my brain and relax. No deadlines, no threats, no flickering in and out of existence. Peace. It isn't too long before her eyes flutter and drift open. She yawns, cuddling even closer to me. Without moving the rest of my body, I turn my head to face her, and our noses brush together.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madison.
How'd you sleep?
It was the best sleep I've had in 200 years.
She smirks and I laugh too.
That joke never gets old. Fitting.
Abigail moves in even closer, draping herself against my arm and shoulder like a cat. Her hair falls across my face and I blow it away with a playful puff of air.
What about you?
Better than I have in months.
It's true. We both passed out pretty quickly after getting back to the cabin last night. Even the excitement of day's events couldn't keep us up.
Will our bed in America be this comfortable?
Oh, it's even better. Although BT, our cat, really likes to sleep up there. So you might have to fight him for the spot.
Aww.
BT will have to find somewhere new to sleep because I don't want to share you.
Aww. She shoos away an imaginary cat with one hand. I love her.
Maybe he'll like Morgan. She's gotta be used to having cats around by now. Geladora counts. Technically?
Our home will be so lively, won't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Me either.
The sounds and smells of Morgan and Tara preparing breakfast wafting through the bedroom eventually stirs us back into gear. I pack what little clothes I brought while Abigail gets dressed.
Good morning.
Meowdy meow.
Meowdy now?
Please don't ever say that again. But, good morning.
Okay.
Hello. What are we eating today?
Wow, you don't waste any time, huh?
I've wasted a lot of time not eating, and I intend to fully make up for it.
I love you, Abigail.
You're in luck. I brought over all the food I had at home, so there's plenty.
She sets a platter of pastries on the table. Abigail immediately dual wields a blueberry muffin and an everything bagel. Those are vastly different flavors, but...
Wait, you already went all the way to town and back and then made breakfast?
Yes.
Of course. Why? Yeah.
Isn't she amazing?
Morgan blushes. That might be the first time I've witnessed that. Crumbs litter the table the aftermath of Abigail's enthusiastic eating. I've never met someone so delighted just to be eating food. But you never met a ghost who'd been alone for 200 years, too. So, you know, there's
Have
that.
as much as you'd like. I'll bring the rest with us on the train.
Good.
I'm not sure we're gonna have to worry about leftovers.
Abigail grins in agreement. After we finish, I help take all of the dishes back into the kitchen and set them by the sink. Morgan starts watching them right away.
I'm not sure who I'm washing these for, but it feels wrong to just leave them dirty.
That's a good point.
What'll happen to this place once we're gone?
She shrugs.
I'll leave the key in my shop. I don't really care beyond that. It's nice to not have to.
Nice. She wipes the plates dry with a towel, and then we go back into the living room. The rest of the cabin is already immaculate. You guys kind of packed quick. Good job. The blankets are folded, the furniture is realigned, everything is in its place. I'd even say it's tidier than the day we arrived. I give my bedroom a final once-over, looking for anything I may have left behind. Of course, there's nothing. Shut the door behind me. The action has a sense of finality to it. Everyone else is waiting for me in the living room / dining room.
So we're going out into the woods one last time, right?
Yes. I need to say goodbye to a friend.
Whoa, you know someone else in the forest?
Yeah.
Is it Elvis?
No.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
Bring a recorder.
Who's Elvis?
Don't worry about it. Tara's just being dumb.
Aren't I always?
That you are.
You got me there. Anyway, you'll see when we arrive.
Oh. Bring your recorder. Whew. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Plus, I want Abigail to be able to share a peaceful farewell. Especially remembering what she told me before about the Fairy Queen and the Forest Spirit. Yeah, because the Fairy Spirit's gonna become a tree. Oof. Sorry. We head outside and into the forest. For the first time since we got to Eisenfeld, it's not that cold out. In fact, it's even a bit warm. I wonder if it's coincidence or if it also has something to do with Evelyn being gone. Neither would surprise me. Woohoo! We haven't gone very far when Geladora suddenly appears, popping into sight just a few feet away. Gosh, she's like gorgeous. Her rifle is silent. No smoke or sound or anything like that. Just 1 second it's empty and then the next she's there. Of course, she just melted into existence.
Good morning.
Ah, Geladora. Morgan and Tara both flinch at her sudden arrival, but Abigail and I are unaffected.
I've been waiting for you. I could feel the four of you enter the forest.
That's awesome! So your fairy sense started tingling?
Geladora tilts her head perplexed. Tara really needs to learn her audience out there.
Anyway, if you're prepared, I'll take you all the rest of the way. It would take far too long to walk.
Facts. Pop. The five of us join hands. Geladora is standing between Morgan and me. Her hands are cold, but not unpleasantly so. In the time that it takes for us to blink, we've teleported to the grove of ancestral trees. Even without being one of the trees, one with the forest, the magic in this place is palpable. It soaks into the earth and trees, and the air is sweet. We approach the ancestral grove with a careful, quiet steps. The destruction that Evelyn caused is far more prevalent here. Streaks of ash still blemish the surrounding trees, the painful reminders of the one she slew. Just ahead, I can see the clearing where I know the forest spirit will be. Geladora steps aside, gesturing for Abigail and I to continue on. We do. The forest spirit comes into view. We can hear Katara gasp from behind me. The spirit looks even weaker than the last time I saw it. If previously it looked old, now it looks downright ancient. Its once terrifying eyes have lost its luster. Its wooden body is even more knotted and warped than before, and it's so small.
Is this your friend?
Without turning, Abigail nods.
For all these years we've been together. It was the forest spirit who saved my soul when Evelyn came for my body.
Abigail reaches out a hand, going to the forest spirit's side. Like every time before, I also keep my distance.
Abigail.
I know. It's time, isn't it?
Geladora nods. The forest spirit peers down at the girl by its side. Sure, it loves her back. Abigail takes a single step backwards and Geladora moves to her side. Then the Fairy Queen raises a palm and presses it against the forest spirit. The sensation of magic gathering is familiar to me. By now, even though it's time. It's flowing past me, not into me. Geladora calls life from the surrounding trees. Here, where life is more vibrant, the ground ripples from our feet, surging the unseen power. The sunlight beaming onto us feels warmer. Everything is gloriously happy and alive. That was a very cool animation they had on the right there. It was kind of distracting. The forest spirit's twisted form starts to change and morph, not in a painful way, like how Evelyn died, but much more peaceful. Jagged shards of wood soften and retract. Its two legs start to stitch themselves together into one solid trunk. Its arms stiffen, reaching outwards and upwards, slowly regaining the colossal height that it once possessed. The roots appear and bury themselves underground as the forest floor itself rises a little to accommodate. I remember now that Abigail mentioned before that one of the Fairy Queen's duties was to help the spirit pass on. And with Geladora missing for so long, it was impossible. I wonder how many decades or centuries this one has existed before meeting Abigail. No wonder all the trees here have such vibrance. No wonder this was the center of the life of the forest. Just like the process that made me Fairy Queen, there's little pomp and flair to the transformation, but instead it feels intimate and calm. When Geladora retracts her hand and the magic dissipates once more, everything is still and silent. Oh! Abigail falls to her knees at the base of the newborn tree. The spirit's great eye slowly slides down the trunk, a final magical motion, until it's level with her face. Despite the tears in her eyes, Abigail manages to smile.
Hello, old friend.
Aww.
Thank you for everything you've given me. Not just company, but another chance at life itself.
Ooh.
I'll miss you. I really will. More than I'll miss anything else here.
Oh.
I'm sorry I wasn't around much lately. But I hope you know that I was very happy. Even when it was just us. Even when there was no one else.
She reaches up, touching her hand to the tree, just like the Fairy Queen did, except it isn't a regal, powerful touch. It's delicate and soft. She presses her forehead against the tender bark, not bothering to wipe away the tears.
And I hope you know that I'll be even happier now. You don't have to worry about me.
Aww.
I'll be okay.
Yeah, you will. Abigail remains there for a long moment. The forest spirit's eyes watch her as best as it can, for as long as it can. Slowly it glows dim. The red light fades to gray, then to the same plain brown as the rest of the tree. Within a moment, it's indistinguishable from the rest of the forest. Abigail looks back up and notices the change. She brushes her hand against the sightless eye, and then she raises to face Geladora.
Thank you.
I'm sure you made its life that much more wonderful as well.
Aww.
I hope so. Tara, do we still have time before we have to board our train?
Couple hours, yeah.
If it's no trouble, I'd like to return to the Fairy Grove one final time.
I'd be happy to take you.
Tara and Morgan nod in approval. They've both been keeping pretty quiet, although that's only unusual for Tara. Still, I'm glad that she's being considerate of the solemn mood. Once more, Geladora takes her hand and transports us to the fairy clearing. There's no evidence here of what took place last night. While there aren't any deer this time, a few birds are in their nests, all right in the grove. It's a little strange to not instantly feel the presence of the fairies in my head. I'm sure they're close by, but like usual, they keep their distance. As soon as we regain our balance, Abigail wordlessly starts to head to the shore. Tara taps me on the shoulder.
Hey, me and Morgan are gonna take a walk. Give you two a couple minutes.
Sure. Thanks.
Two of them set off at a leisurely pace around the water. Geladora goes with them. She and Morgan will surely want to say goodbye as well. Abigail's already down by the water, and I move to join her. Her hand grasps mine, and she squeezes tightly. She breathes in deeply. I do the same. The air is crisp but refreshing. This place has been so special to the both of us that I'm a little bit sad to leave it behind as well. I know it's nothing compared to how Abigail must feel. I don't speak. I'm sure that in her heart, Abigail's saying a final goodbyes to this place. I'll let her be the first to speak. We stand there in comfortable silence for a while, hand in hand.
I said before that I had come to love the forest as much as I possibly could. But now, when we're about to leave, I realize that I was wrong.
Oh?
Because I love it more now than I ever have before.
Oh.
It isn't that I want to stay, but rather that I never had the opportunity to miss it. And now, on the eve of my departure, I'm sure that I will.
That's fair.
I think there's a certain kind of love that comes from having something. But there's a different kind of love that can only come from losing it.
Aww. To my surprise, she isn't crying. In the past, when we've talked like this, it's been accompanied by tears, both joyful and sad. But now, when I look over at Abigail, she looks determined. Determined to be happy.
Just because you leave something behind doesn't mean you've lost it. It just means that you have to learn to love it in a different way. When you look back on something and it makes you smile, that counts too. Love isn't just about moving forward. Sometimes it's about looking back.
Aww.
This place will always be special to you. And to me, in different ways.
What if I forget? What if someday I can't look back and remember what it looks like? What if I can't remember how it felt the first time we kissed? What if I forget how happy I am right now?
Even if you forget, you'll still carry it with you. It's still a part of who you are. It made you the person you are today.
There you go.
The memories aren't what's important. What's important is how they help you grow.
We go quiet again after that. I surprised even myself with those words. Aww. When I look back 5 or 10 or even 50 years from now, I wonder how I'll feel about this time in my life. Not just the forest and all the magical things that have happened, but everything that led up to it. Working on Paranormal and all that we accomplished there, all the dreams that I put aside for it, all the new ones that it instilled in me. I still have a lot to figure out and feelings to sort through, but now the future doesn't seem too ominous and scary. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. From behind us, I can hear sounds of Morgan and Tara approaching once more from their walk. Squeeze Abigail's hand, and she starts to lead me back towards our friends.
Come on, let's go home.
There we go. Cold comforts. Oh!
All aboard!
All aboard!
The train conductor yells out his iconic line, and there's a loud hiss as the train begins to move. It feels like something out of an old-timey film, but I suppose that's more than appropriate for how our journey has gone so far. Beside me, Abigail sits with a white-knuckle grip on the seats, alternating between staring out the window and making sure the ground is still beneath her. Across from me, Tara and Morgan sprawl across each other, all pretenses of not a couple abandoned.
Good.
As for me, I drink it all in, with a smile on my face. Every one of us deserves this.
Heck yeah.
We pull out of the station, and I gaze out the window alongside Abigail. On the way in, I remember how scary and foreboding the forest looked, and how it felt like entering another world. Now, on the way out, I certainly won't miss it, but I'm not afraid anymore. I wonder if Geladora is watching us, somewhere out there.
Hey, Mads.
Of course Tara's the one to break the silence.
How proud do you think my folks will be that I finally got around to adding forged government documents to my criminal record?
I just have to laugh. I can't even be mad at her for this one, because there's no way we're getting Abigail into the country otherwise. I'm not sure how she did it. Maybe that's a brand of magic of her own.
The internet.
What will be the first thing we do when we get back?
Asks Abigail.
Oh, you know we're gonna party!
From where her head rests on Morgan's lap, Tara still manages to strike a pose.
We've got New Year's coming up. Plus, Maddie's birthday is the day before.
Oh, Maddie's, December 31st? Babe. The Dainty Wife's birthday is actually then.
Both Abigail and Morgan's eyes widen. I try to brush it off. Every year, Tara swears we're going to go all out for my birthday. Every year she takes like 2 drinks and passes out, or falls out of her bar stool. Whichever comes first.
Oh.
Morgan, Abby, both of you drink, right?
Morgan, maybe. Abby.
I do.
Of course you do, Morgan.
It's been quite a long time since I have, of course, but I'm certainly partial to it.
Oh.
You both know what that means then, right?
Tara's question is met with 3 blank stares.
Drinking contest!
No.
Oh god, Tara. Not again.
Come on, you're okay with Morgan and Abby watching you drunkenly sing MCR, right?
No, I'm not okay.
My Chemical Romance for the win. Black Parade, let's do it.
While Tara launches into an extremely exaggerated version of my last birthday party for Morgan and Abigail's benefits, I find myself looking out the window, watching the world go by once again. There's so much that I'm looking forward to when we get home. Teaching Abigail about the world, going back to school. I'll also do my best to help Morgan take over the duties on the show. Maybe I'll even come back to guest star in an episode or 2. For so long, I wanted the world to slow down, just a little bit, so I could catch up, figure things out, figure myself out. If there's one thing that being dead and hearing Abigail's stories taught me, it's that I don't want to look back later with regret. Just like I told her at the lake, we have a lot of good memories left to create. I intend to savor every minute of them.
Good.
I listen to the conversation, laughing along even while I daydream about the future. My heart is happy here, even if my head's in the clouds right now. Abigail leans into my side, giggling at some joke whose punchline I missed, but I smile all the same. She'll make an optimist out of me yet. If there's one thing that we have now, it's time.
Aww.
And as for everything else, well, I'm sure the world won't mind if I keep it waiting just a bit longer.
That's adorable. Oh, I love that ending. Heart of the Woods. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Director. That was so pretty and so well done. Oh. Great, great job. Character artists. So well done. Such a great and intimate story. Graphic designer and video editor. I hope all of you took the time to enjoy this game as much as I did. Because it's so beautiful. In love with a ghost. Yes. Great job, Studio Ellen. Elan? Elan? Don't know how to pronounce that, so. But just, great job. Ali Goodall. Heidi Tabbing. Stephanie Arata. Kira Buckland. Tara Lingala. Evelyn Tuck. All of the fairies. Such a great job with this. Like, honestly, these are beautiful. From the graphics to the voice acting. I called out the voice acting so many times because honestly, they did such a phenomenal job with all of the way that they expressed each of the lines. They poured their heart and soul into this. And Paranormal t-shirt design. I really want a t-shirt from Paranormal. Yeah! I want that poster. I would totally put up that poster in the background or something. So good. Just so happy with seeing all of this. Oh, character designs. Oh, that's fun. Oh, there was supposed to be a frost on the back of, like a snowflake on the back of Geladora's neck. I don't think we've ever seen the back, so I'd like to say thanks to the Kickstarters. Say thanks to you for playing our game. No cryptics were harm in the making of this game. Brava. So good. Thank you for playing. It's delightful. Thank you for going through this whole journey with me. I appreciate it.
Madison, look! There it is!
What? More! Abigail reaches out of the open window to point at the ocean sparkling in the summer sun. My heart pounds as I hear the pure joy in her voice. The instant the train pulls to a complete stop, she and Tara bolt for the door. Morgan grins at me and stands to follow them. I'm right behind her. Alright, gang, this is it.
Smell that air. Feel that ocean breeze.
Get it!
Look at those crashing waves. I told you this place was awesome.
I want that t-shirt. Tell me where to get that t-shirt. I totally will. She looks back to us to make sure we're all as overjoyed as she is. With all the excitement, you'd think she was the one who'd never seen the beach before.
This is...
Her voice trails off as her head swivels around. Still trying to take it all in, I silently step up behind her and take her hand. She doesn't look at me, but the small squeeze she gives my hand is all I need to know. She appreciates it. Oh, Morgan chopped off her hair! Get it! You look great, babe!
Pretty incredible, huh?
Get it! She closes her eyes and tilts her head up towards the sun, taking in the summer glow. Yes!
It's better than I ever dared to imagine.
I love it! For a moment, I'm reminded of the glow that surrounded her the first time we read together. Was that the first time my heart stopped when I looked at her? It's happened so often that I've lost count. By now, I've known her as a human for longer than I knew her as a ghost, but she's still got the same otherworldly beauty that she had back then.
Thank you, Madison.
Abigail looks back at me and smiles.
For everything.
I know the kiss is coming before Abigail even starts to move, and I'm more than ready for it. I wrap my arms around her and I let her press the lips. Words! I wrap my arms around her and let her press her lips press against mine, our bodies perfectly pressed together. Words.
You were worth the wait.
Whoa. 200 years of it. We touch our foreheads together, fingers intertwined. There's no need to say anything else. For once, Tara waits for us to finish before interjecting. But the instant we separate, she's back to her boisterous self.
Are you guys coming or what?
Get it. Morgan puts her arm around Tara's shoulders as she weaves us on. Not missing a beat, Tara pushes her long hair to the side so Morgan can kiss her cheek.
Come on, I'll race you there.
You're on.
The two turn out to be a surprising amount in common. Whatever store of energy they both draw from, it seems to be infinite. Morgan and I go to a much more similar pace, although even she's more enthusiastic about going along with Tara's craziness. Love does that, I guess.
You go ahead, babe. I'll catch up.
Me too. My swimsuit definitely isn't built for sprinting.
Abigail gives me a nod and another quick peck. Tara tries to do the same, but Morgan pulls her in for a full-on kiss. When she pulls away, Tara looks completely stunned.
Better hurry, Abigail. Don't waste the head start.
Ha ha! That's the first time I've ever seen a kiss used to give someone a tactical advantage. I can respect that. Abigail takes off running while Tara blinks away her daze before dashing after her.
No fair!
Yes, it is! You have longer legs than me!
Morgan and I are left in the dust, both chuckling at our overzealous partners. I doubt either of us expecting much. Someone so energetic to be such a perfect fit.
We should probably go after them.
Lead the way.
Oh, you guys are cute. We both take off behind our girlfriends, entering the water and rushing to their arms. I barely feel the cold of the water as Abigail's warmth envelops me.
And here I thought you were going to keep me waiting again.
Oh. We lean in for a kiss. At the same time, our lips press together in a deep, warm unison.
Don't you worry, Abigail. I'll always be right behind you.
The smile she gives me puts the sunlight to shame.
I know, Madison.
Oh, you guys are the worst. I love you so much.
I know.
Thank you for that. Yes. Okay. Oh, so many feelings. That was amazing. I loved it so much. Oh my god. Okay, so comment down below. Let me know if there's any others that you want me to go down. Either like if there's other endings that you would like me to complete, or if there's any other recommendations for LGBTQIA plus visual novels you want me to play. And subscribe so that way you can come back and see more awesome things like this, because I have a list, but I want to hear from you. So let me know. In the meantime, thank you. So glad you went through this journey with me. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye!